Everyone, my name is Andrea, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my journey as a health professions scholarship program recipient, and then how it relates to my life currently as a PA student. So this is a follow-up video to a previous video I had posted. It was titled Air Force HPSP for PAs. It's not called part one, but it's basically part one, and this is part two. So I have it part two-ish. Anyways, in that first video, though, I covered the whole application process for HPSP. So you should go check that out first. And then today I'm going to be sharing with you what my experience has been like after receiving the scholarship. And just as a reminder, I just want to say the reason I'm doing these videos is because not very many PAs receive this scholarship. And so I feel like I'm alone a lot of times when it comes to getting information. So I really hope that I can be a good resource for people in the future. So if you have any questions, please comment. I'll try my best to help you out in any way that I can. So with that, let's get started with what I want to talk about today, which is basically just my story, what's been going on. So like I mentioned in the previous video, I was told that I would find out about the scholarship in October, that was when the board would meet and decide who gets the scholarship. Well, October came and went, didn't hear anything. November came and went, didn't hear anything. And so I contacted my recruiter and I was like, hey, like, what's going on? And he had said that there were some delays in Congress with the budget, something like that. And then finally, about mid-December, I got a phone call, said I got the scholarship. Everything was great. But unfortunately, my program is a little bit different and I started in January. My PA school program started in January. And so I had less than a month to pay tuition. And I originally thought like, okay, like let's just get rolling on the paperwork real quick so I can get tuition paid. And that is a silly thought because it takes way longer than that. So I actually ended up paying for all my books and my tuition for my first semester all out of pocket because the scholarship didn't take we couldn't get the paperwork in fast enough. And so, that was a little unfortunate. But anyways, moving forward after that, the month of January, so I started PA school, and there was a lot of paperwork that I filled out. And to be honest with you, I can't even remember what it was because it seemed like at least once a week, my recruiter would be sending me something to fill out. And also in the beginning of January, I took my oath. And that was super weird because it was actually on Zoom. So I met with my recruiter and one other person on Zoom, raised my right hand, said a couple sentences, and they were like, congratulations, you're a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. And I'm like, okay, like that's it. And so that was very weird. And then a couple more months went by, and about March is when I actually signed my contract and makes things a little bit more official. But going back, we had some issues with that. So let's talk about tuition. So I already mentioned that I had to pay for my first semester out of pocket. So normally what happens is, like I said, HPSP, they decide who their scholarship recipients are in like December. And then most students don't start until the fall of the next year. And so they have like 10 months to figure out all this paperwork. And then in my case, they had, like 1 month. And so there was delays in tuition because of that. And actually, I'm in my second semester right now. And so it has been 6 months since, like I've been in PA school for 6 months. And my second semester of tuition still hasn't been paid yet either. I've been working with the school and they are on the process now, but that wasn't the case for a while, which I'll get to in a second. So expect that this process takes time. And then as far as reimbursement goes, they, in my contract, said that they would not reimburse for items that were purchased before I took my oath or before I started school. And so I was worried that I wasn't going to be reimbursed for any of the school supplies that I bought back in November, but I had saved all my receipts and I sent in my reimbursement packet anyway. And they ended up reimbursing me in full for everything that I asked for. So that was awesome. So if you ever find yourself in my shoes where you're not sure if they're going to reimburse you for something, just try and hopefully they will. And then as far as the stipend goes, so you can begin being paid your stipend the day that you take your oath. But it took longer than that. And so when I did finally receive my first stipend, which was 5 months later, I was back paid from the day that I took my oath. So really taking your oath is one of the more important steps in the process because a lot of the paperwork depends on that day. But going back to the paperwork, what I've learned through this process is that you have to stay on top of it. It's up to you to make sure that things are moving in the right direction. And because I was being very patient for a long time, I was just assuming that things were being taken care of. And then I have an amazing professor who helped me a lot with this. She has military background and she was really helpful in telling me like, hey, no, you need to like get on top of this. You need to tell your recruiter like like every week every day you should be talking to them, making sure that paperwork is getting filled out, that it's getting sent to the right people. And so it wasn't until I had someone kind of on my butt to do those things that paperwork and stuff actually started moving forward. And so again, my advice to you, if you're in this situation, just make sure that you be patient when you need to be patient, but don't be afraid to be forward and ask for things to be getting done when they need to get done. And so, like I said, because even my tuition right now is still kind of on the fence. But anyways, moving on to what my life as a PA student, as an HPSP recipient, what does it look like? And to that, it looks just like any other PA student. If I hadn't told my classmates, they would have no idea. I am required to be active duty. I believe it's 45 days out of the year. But during that time, you just are assigned to your school to be a student. You just have to be called active because I believe it's like a tax/billing type of thing. But like I said, you're assigned to your school as a student. You just act like any other PA student. So it's really great. It has been a huge blessing and a relief to have this scholarship. And it really has allowed me to just focus solely on school. So I'm very, very thankful for it. And yeah, just stay posted for future videos as I go through this process more. And if there's any way that I can help any of you guys who have received the scholarship or are looking into applying for it, just let me know and I'll see what I can do to help. So thank you for watching.